OK. Now, just going to get this one a better view so we can actually fit it in. Too big. Now with this one, we haven't set the scale, but we do want to sort of come in on this area here. In this one, what we are going to try and do is we want to try and look at this one in 3D. Now once you're in here, you can see you have access to all these tools. Now the one which you would need to use is this Orbit tool, and I don't know if you've used it before, but if you haven't, it's a really cool thing to use. Now I want you to notice, as you scroll it around, you can see a lot of the area that we're working on. It's almost in 3D, but notice our pond. Now what I'm going to do is just get this in a position I think we need it to go in. Hit the escape button to get out of that particular mode, and then I'm going to drag this across and get it in a better position. About there. Okay, now as you can see, our contour is up here and our pond and our measurements are down there. That means we actually haven't got it on the right level. So at this point in time, we're going to double click out of there. We're going to switch back into our model mode, and we're actually going to do all our adjustments here. Now, as you know, when we select on our pond and our water, which is our film, we need to move that to, I know that this yellow line, this orange line we've got in place is at 20, and we know this one's at 19, so I'm going to try and move it between the two, maybe 19.5. So what I need to do is click on my properties, and as you can see, we don't have any access to our Z value because we've got two type of elements selected. If we select an individual one, we're going to select the line. We go to our properties, and as you can see here, we have some properties, but we've also got fit point Z will equal 0. We've also got start vector equals 0, and these are all our different data points. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get this one here, our Z value, and we're going to change that one to 19.50. And when I enter the enter key, you'll notice it does change. What we're going to now look at is how we've adjusted that line. So again, use our Orbit tool. Because we had that selected, we need to deselect by hitting the escape key. Again, use this tool to go around, and I want you to notice something. With the spine, it has trouble adjusting all of the lines, all the points to that exact height. Now that height is right, but it means the rest of it is sitting on 0 value again. I'll also notice too that the fill is still on 0 value. Okay. Now, what I'd like to do, we're going to click on here and go home. To go back, we're going to click on top to have a look at the very top there, and we're going to zoom in on this again. Undo, back to this point here, go back to our model space, and what we're going to do is select both of these, the fill and the line, and the way I've worked out to get around it so we could shift both the fill and the line up onto the correct Z value is to go through and create a block from it. Enter and create a block. And when you create the block, it allows you to name these lines, the line and the fill together. I'm going to call this one TER again. I'm not going to change the value, Z value and everything like that. Keep it as is. Block units here in meters. That's all I need to do is just name this and click OK. Now what you will notice now is it's deselected, but when you select it, both the line and the fill are selected. And the other good thing about it, you can actually under geometry here, you've got a position here of 19.50. Enter. Now again, you notice you didn't notice any change there, but when we again use our orbit tool, you can see that it's on our 19.5, which is between the 20 and the 19 there. It sits underneath it. The other thing you notice, our measurements here are on 0 plane. We need to block both those two things and shift them up to 19. The other thing is we might change the Z value of our river and of our path here. So the path, the river will sit underneath our 19.5. I'm going to put it at, say, about 17. And our path here needs to fit up above all of this, which is around about 30, I think it's 35 or 30. 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. At 30, we're going to put it up at 30 up here. So it sits on top of this ridge and it gives a more realistic view of it. Again, escape. Okay, home, top. Again, zoom in on the area that we're going to change. I'm going to select the river, and again under our properties we need to change its elevation. See here, elevation to, what did we say, 14? Oh, so 17. Okay, return key, so it makes it apply. We're going to grab this path here, but while we're at it, we're actually going to grab all the paths that follow around, just escape this whole area that we're working on. Okay, so I'll just go through and select all of that. Last one. And again, same thing. Should find it under our geometry, under elevation. We're going to change that to, what did I say, 30. 30.00. It is important that you actually do it to the decimal point. And then make sure we push the enter key to apply it. And the only last thing we've got to do is again group these measurements. Now the thing with these measurements is you'll notice here, if I'm trying to change those to a Z value, you'll notice there is no Z value anywhere in this particular setting. Okay, and like we did before, if we join them together in a block, we can shift the whole block onto the correct Z value, and that's why we're producing blocks from these. So again, insert block, create. This one is SURE, measure, pond. It is good to name your blocks so you know which ones they are and what to pick. Click OK. And again, select the block. Just making sure the block, and again applying the same position we had before, which is 19.5. Hit the enter, escape, and then we're just going to use this tool here to make sure that we've got a good position. Looks like they're fitting in perfectly, so you can see them there. And again, go to our 3D view here, and now we can position this in here so it actually works and looks like it's supposed to go throughout here. Okay, now the only other thing is, see the river here? I think we might have to raise it up a little bit. Okay, we might have to put it up under, say, 18, because it is sort of going off to the side here because it is 2 meters down. So let's click on our properties here under 17. Let's change it to 18. Did it shift up? No, not quite enough. Let's just... You can see it's sort of shifting up there. So that looks a bit better. You can see where the river goes. And, you know, it's fairly accurate through there. My suggestion is if you need to position it a bit better, just do so. So it fits nicely within this design. The only other thing I'm going to add is actually from this, let's lock that now. Okay, it's actually from here. At the moment we've got our north position, but as you can see from these maps, this one here we don't know which our north position is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that, or actually cut it, and I'm going to go back into my model space here, and I'm going to place it in here now. I'm going to put it somewhere around about here. Clipboard, paste. There it is there. Stick it about there. The only other thing I'm going to do is make it a bit smaller. And I think I did move it, so I'm going to have to undo Z. Because I did change its position. There you go. And now when we shift back to our 3D annotation here, you can see here, you can see the value there. Okay, you can see under our 3D you can actually see north in there, but the only thing is in our other drawing here we can't see it at all, so we might have to unlock this. Okay, unlock, and double click inside and shift this up so we can actually see our north value in there. And now, again lock, and now you can see that we've got the north symbol actually on the drawings themselves, but it gives us a clear indication of which way north is, as you can see. And that's just a little something that, you know, could be handy. And my suggestion is now we need to save it. Okay, save to make sure we don't lose any work, and to double check everything. My other suggestion is too, is we know that we have scaled these, we need to put in our scales on the actual drawing themselves, or what I suggest is up in here, we might put drawing 1, scale, drawing 2, no scale, drawing 3, scale. Okay? And it's just a way of making sure that we can fit everything in. And it is noted. Okay, the only other thing you might need to do is click off there, grab to this, and when you explode this under your home and explode, you'll have access to change all of these different letters and everything that you need to on this job. I'm not going to do that because this is pretty much it for this. And, you know, have a look to see how it all is. Zoom in. Here's mine. And you can see, you know, you can get some really good effects by changing all those layers into the correct layer, and it sort of sits in there nicely. And if you move it around, you can actually see what your 3D view, you know, is going to look like. If you look on the side, you can see it's all there, but it's on your different layers. Okay. To get it back again, right hand click on here, go to home, puts it in that place, click on top, North is always to the top there, as it's supposed to be. Okay, thanks very much.